There's something living in my house that looks like me. Part 1, The First Knock. The first time I realized something was wrong, it was 2:13 a.m. and I was brushing my teeth. I live alone. That's important to get out of the way early. It's just me, an old 2-bedroom place I inherited from my uncle near the edge of some forgotten rural town in Oregon. I moved out there after a rough breakup and a job that gutted me from the inside out. I needed isolation. What I didn't expect was the knock. 3 knocks. Slow. Deliberate. From inside the hallway closet. That closet hadn't been opened in weeks. I just stood there, toothbrush in mouth, foam dripping down my chin, staring at the door like it might breathe. The knocks came again. Knock, knock, knock. This time, louder. I inched closer. Hard pounding. The kind of pounding you feel in your throat, like your body's trying to crawl away from itself. I opened it. Slowly. Empty. Of course. I checked behind the coats. Nothing. Shut the door. Locked it. Told myself it was just the house settling. But then the next night, I heard it again, this time from the laundry room. 3 knocks. Always 3. Same rhythm. Like it was counting. Or mimicking. Or waiting. That's when I did something I've never done before. I left the lights on. All of them. Every switch in the house stayed flipped. I couldn't explain it, but the dark felt different. Like something inside it was looking back. Days passed. The knocks stopped. I thought maybe I'd imagined it, sleep deprivation, stress, who knows. But then came the mirror. Or more specifically, my reflection. I was shaving, leaning into the bathroom mirror, when I noticed something off about my face. Not wrong, exactly, just delayed. Like my reflection blinked a half second after I did. Or maybe it smiled too long. I tried to laugh it off, but the feeling didn't fade. It grew. And that night, when I passed the mirror again, I swear on my life, my reflection didn't move. I stepped past and it kept staring. I ran. Slept in the car. Came back the next morning, cautious. The mirror looked normal again. But I didn't feel normal. Not anymore. Things escalated quickly after that. I started hearing myself. In other rooms. Talking. Humming. Breathing. I'd be in the kitchen and hear my own voice muttering something down the hall. Sometimes I'd find footprints bare, matching mine exactly but heading into rooms I hadn't been in. And then, worst of all, I saw it. Me standing in the hallway. Just watching. Same height, same clothes, same tired eyes but wrong. Like a photo that had been copied too many times. I couldn't move. I just stared at it. And it stared back. Then it whispered, "You don't belong here." And vanished into the shadows. Part 2, It Wears My Memories. After that night, I stopped pretending I was safe. Whatever it was, this thing that looked like me, it didn't want to hide anymore. It wanted me to know it existed. Worse, it wanted me to doubt that I did. I started noticing little shifts around the house, like objects weren't where I'd left them, my coffee mug on the wrong counter, the TV remote facing the wrong direction, my boots wet in the morning like I'd gone out while I slept. I even found my own handwriting on a shopping list I never made: buy more red meat. I'm vegetarian. Always have been. Then came the dreams, except I don't think they were dreams. I'd wake up in a different part of the house, standing, sweating, sometimes facing the mirror, and sometimes, I'd catch a flash of me stepping out of the room the moment my eyes opened. It was learning. Studying. Becoming better at being me than I was. One night, I found an old photo album from college opened on the living room floor. I hadn't touched it in years. But every single photo had been scratched out except mine. Only mine remained, clean and untouched, like the others had never existed. That same night, I heard it again, my voice, only angrier. It was arguing with someone in the living room. I crept down the hallway. Nothing. But I swear I saw shadows on the wall, 2 figures. Both me. The next morning, I checked my phone. 10 missed calls from my ex, Mia. I hadn't spoken to her in months. When I finally worked up the nerve to call, she answered with a shaken voice. "You need to stop calling me at night, Drew. Whatever you're going through, I'm sorry, but what you said was horrible." I hadn't called her. I checked my logs, nothing there. But she swore I had. Swore she heard my voice. Swore I told her something I couldn't bear to repeat. That night, I bolted every door and window shut. Pushed furniture in front of them. Sat with a knife in my hand and every light on. Still, around 3 a.m. I heard the front door creak open. Slowly. Carefully. And then, my own footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Approaching. I didn't move. Couldn't. And then, from the hallway, my voice echoed out, calm, patient, and soft, "You're tired. Let me take over. You were never good at living anyway. There's something living in my house that looks like me." Part 3, Only One Can Stay. I didn't move. I sat frozen in that creaking wooden chair, staring at the hallway while the version of me moved slowly into the room, one hand trailing across the wall like he was taking in the texture of it all, like he was finally home. His smile was wrong. It wasn't just that it was too wide, it was confident. Like someone who had already won. I raised the knife, hand trembling, but he didn't flinch. He just looked at me and tilted his head. "You're still trying," he said. "That's cute." His voice was mine, but smoother, more composed. Like someone who never choked on fear or shame or memories. He circled me slowly, studying me like I was the imposter. "Do you remember the cabin?" he asked. "The one where Dad left you alone for 2 nights?" My heart dropped. No one knew about that. No one but me. "You cried the first night. You screamed the second, and after that, something came in." Remember, he leaned closer, whispering now. "Something stayed." That's when I understood this wasn't something outside of me. It was something from me. Something that had been born in fear, nurtured in loneliness, and now fed on all the broken parts I never fixed. It didn't come from nowhere. It had always been waiting. "You made me," it said, crouching to my eye level. "You made me to survive. To pretend. And now that you're done pretending, I'm ready to take over." It lunged. I swung the knife. We hit the floor hard. He was stronger, no hesitation, no doubt. I fought like hell, slashing, screaming, biting, anything. I didn't care if I died, as long as he didn't live. We tumbled into the hallway, knocking over picture frames, shattering glass. He slammed me into the wall. "You don't get to choose anymore," he hissed. "I am what people want. You are the failure they forgot." With the last of my strength, I grabbed the mirror on the wall and smashed it into his face. He staggered. I tackled him into the bathroom, kicked the door shut, locked it. Silence. Then banging. Then nothing. I sat there until morning. Bloodied. Broken. Alone. The house was quiet again. For days, I didn't hear him. Didn't see him. I thought maybe I'd won. Maybe I'd forced him out. But then yesterday, my neighbor stopped me in the driveway. "Hey," she said. "You looked rough this morning when you left, but it's nice to see you cleaned up." My stomach dropped. "This morning?" I asked. "Yeah," she said, laughing. "Didn't he even say hi? Just walked straight to the woods. I haven't been outside in 3 days. I sleep with the knife under my pillow now. But sometimes I wake up to muddy footprints in the kitchen, and sometimes, the mirror doesn't reflect me back." I started marking the doors. Every night before bed, I scratched a small X on the inside of every door frame with the same pocket knife I'd used to fight him. I told myself that if the X was gone in the morning, I'd know he'd come through. The first few nights, they stayed. On the fourth night, they didn't. Not only were the marks gone, they'd been replaced with circles. Perfect little circles, carved with a sharper, more patient hand. He was mocking me. The forest behind my house had always been a place I avoided. Ever since I was a kid, it gave me the same cold, crawling feeling as standing too close to the edge of a high cliff. But now, it was drawing me in. The thing that looked like me had walked into it, according to my neighbor. And part of me wondered if maybe he'd gone back to where he came from. So I went in. Just past the tree line, maybe 30 yards from my back fence, I found something I'd never seen before, a shed. Not old. Not abandoned. Brand new. Clean. Fresh paint. No path led to it. It wasn't there last month. I would be known. It had a single door, painted dark red, with no lock. I stepped inside, half expecting to see a mirror. But it wasn't that obvious. What I found was worse. It was a room full of me. Clothes I didn't remember owning. A second wallet with my ID but a different address. Journals in my handwriting, filled with events that had never happened. One page chilled my blood. I finally took over. He's quieter now. Just watches me from the mirror like a dog behind glass. The back wall had photographs taped to it, dozens of them, all of me, but in places I hadn't been. Eating lunch downtown. Sitting on a bus. Standing outside Mia's apartment. One photo had a note, "He still doesn't know I can dream too." I ran out, heart pounding. Behind me, I heard a voice whisper, "We remember things differently." The trees seemed to lean in closer. The air went thick and warm. I stumbled home, locked every door again, and sat in the bathtub fully clothed with a flashlight on. I didn't sleep that night or the one after. But I must be dozed off eventually, because I woke up not in the tub, but in the shed. My knife was gone. And on the wall, written in something dark and dried, "You're getting better at forgetting." That's how I started too.